This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining. First of all, I like to thank everyone for spending your time to add something new in your career. So, let me introduce myself. I'm Yuvi. I'm the trainer for this Azure DevOps training, and I'll be guiding you in terms of this DevOps journey. I have around like 17 plus years of experience in IT. Over that, like 13 plus years of experience in cloud technology itself. I have experience in public clouds like Azure, AWS, and GCP. And I do have work experience in the private cloud also. I'm part of so many migration programs, and I do support the trainings related to Java and other programming languages too. And I have work experience in the infrastructure automation also. So, with my experience, like I'll be guiding you to understand this course curriculum in terms of real time understanding, what are the best practices we have in the industry, and how you can adapt yourself as a DevOps engineer, and what are the tips and tricks you can follow, and how you can become a DevOps engineer. So, this is how we are going to drive the program. And one important thing is, I have put this course content in such a way that if you are the one who is a student who is planning to enter into the IT industry, or if you are the one who is already in the non-cloud technology, like you want to switch your career as a DevOps engineer, or if you are the one who already practicing DevOps in on premises but you want to switch yourself to the cloud DevOps journey. By taking all those things into consideration, by considering your interview related aspect, like what are the things you can add it in your resume so that you will be highlighted for your interview purpose. So all those things are taken into account, and what are the important topics you have to cover, those and all added into the course curriculum. So in this 40 hours of training, it will be like every weekdays, that is Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST, we will have this course. So only during the weekdays we have this. For the next 40 hours, we'll be covering the topics. I'll be going through all this course content, like what and all we are covering, how and all you can learn. So we will have a deep dive into that, and we'll understand. Main thing is, if you want to project yourself as a DevOps engineer, Azure DevOps engineer, what are the main pillars you are supposed to understand? What are the main course content, or what are the main things you should know? So those and all we have considered, and I've added that in the course curriculum. So it's not like something a theoretical aspect, like you will have some PPT presented and I'll be running and you'll be listening. It won't be like that. It will be a real time walkthrough. Like if you are a DevOps engineer, if you are going to work as a DevOps engineer for an organization, then what and all you will be doing, how you can take it forward, what are the issues you will come across, how you will fix the issue. So this is how we are going to deal with it. It is not like something a presentation and I'll be walking through. No, it won't be like that. So I'll be playing around with the tools, especially if it is an Azure DevOps. Say for example, I am today taking care of Azure DevOps topic, means I will be logging to the Azure DevOps portal. I'll be explaining you how to get access to it, how to register yourself. It may be a free trial one or if it's a paid one. Everything I'll be explaining you. And once you get the access, how you can do your activities in terms of project, in terms of organization, how you can do. So those and all I'll be telling you. And it's not like always I'll show only the happy path, that is everything will work smoothly. No, I do show you the errors. Purposely I'll create some errors and I'll show you, if you do this error, this is how it will go. If you do this particular step, if you miss a step, this is how it will go. If it is a issue, how you will correct it. So that is how our course content would be. So as it is a full complete content, I didn't specify you the detailed, or I would say that each and every line about the course content, but I'll be doing a deep dive. It's not like I will tell you at the high level and I will leave it. I'll do a deep dive and I'll be explaining you how to be done and what to be done. And these sessions are all recorded, including today's demo session. Everything is recorded. And if in case once you register, once you start your this course journey, and if you are not able to attend any one of the session due to your other activities, no problem, we have the recorded session, so it will be shared next day morning, and you can go through those videos. If you have any issue or if you can't understand any of the topic, we can very well discuss in the next session, and we can understand that clearly. If in case if you have any problem related to this, like the course or the topics which we discussed, if you feel you didn't understand properly, we do have the WhatsApp create a group created apart from this demo group. Once you all register for this course, we will create one dedicated groups for the registered students, and in that group we will discuss in detail like what are the best practices we have in market, what are the blocks available, so those things and all we will discuss in the group. Any issues or clarification needed, those dedicated group will be used for the further communication. So this is how we plan our course. So it will be 40 hours, but sometimes it may extend. It's like 1 hour we are planning. If some student is raising any queries here and there, it may extend from 1 hour to 1 hour 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's all depend upon the student's understanding, because some student may understand quickly, some student may need some more attention. So by considering everyone into mind, like it's not like a person who already aware of IT. No, in Isha training we do consider everyone, the person who is not from IT also, who is not from cloud background also, they should know cloud. So that is how we have designed. So in the initial few days I'll be discussing on the basics of cloud. So first of all, I'll make you understand what is this cloud, what is this DevOps, why we need DevOps, before DevOps how we were in the IT field. So everything we will be discussing. Then only we will jump on to this course related content and this hands-on things and all. And predominantly, if you look at this, I am sharing the course content. I hope you are all already part of the WhatsApp group created for the demo. In that, our team is keep on circulating the links. So the same link I've opened for you to understand. So you can also check even after this demo. So in the link, you can very well see the complete informations about the course, like what and all we are covering, how we are covering. So I've mentioned here. So if you look at this, this is the DevOps journey. And again, in the DevOps, I'm covering Azure DevOps aspect. That is, DevOps means it's not only the cloud, even for the on premises, we do practice DevOps. Because when I started my DevOps journey 13, 14 years back, that time it was all on premises DevOps. So I started from on premises, later I moved on to the cloud journey. So first, like I'm covering the DevOps, which is common for both on premises and cloud. Then I will do a deep dive on the cloud, that too on the Azure DevOps aspect. So how you can work on the Azure portal, Azure DevOps. So if you're creating a virtual machine, what will happen? If you're creating a storage, what will happen? So those aspects also I will touch upon, because DevOps means it's not only CI/CD pipeline. Many of us have a wrong understanding that is DevOps means only the deployment we do take care. No, we do take care of the other aspect also. DevOps is not only meant for the operation aspect. A developer also will use a DevOps practice. A tester also sometimes use a DevOps practice. So I have added the course curriculum in such a way that this DevOps applies to all the people in IT who wants to switch themselves as a DevOps. So if you look at this, I've added all the important topic. Like if you are the operation person, you are already a operation person, and if you want to move yourself as a DevOps operation, in the sense you might be the on premises infra management person. So if that person wants to move it to DevOps, then obviously they should know the infrastructure as a code, that is Terraform scripts. They should know how to write the script, how to execute the script. So those I've added. If you're a person who is from a development background and you want to mark yourself as a DevOps engineer, then you have to understand the Git and the boards. And if you are the person from the testing background, then you do use this CI/CD options. So by considering all those work areas, it is not only meant for only one particular skilled person. If you are from testing, development, or the support, you can go through this course curriculum. It will cover all your areas, because DevOps for a tester would be different, DevOps for a developer would be different, but we cover all things. Okay, so if you look at this, I we will have the Q&A session at the end. So if you're not talking, you can go on mute. So anything like I'll have a dedicated time allocated for the Q&A. So I'll go through the course content, then we will discuss about this Q&A for sure. So if you look at this schedules and all, you can very well see it is displayed in my screen. Again, I'm opening our website only, the Isha Training official website, which will have the complete informations about our course informations and all. So next thing is like, this is the one, like what you will get. So it is a 40 hours live training with the recorded videos, and it's a lifetime access to the recorded video any point of time. Like once you register for this program, then we will give access to your Gmail ID. So any point of time you can access it, the YouTube videos, and you can watch it. And the course completion certificate at the end of the course, like this 40 hours, you will get the course completion certificate also. And who can enroll for this? As I mentioned, it is not only for the uh, technical, that is IT background person. Even if you're not from the IT background, but if you want to switch yourself to the IT background, we can also register for this. And our candidates, if you're planning for any certification, a cloud related certification nowadays, most of the organizations, they are paying more interest that to, like I believe, like I know some of the top companies in India, they are insisting their employees to have at least one cloud certifications. So if you're the one who is planning to have a certification in cloud, so especially in Azure, then you can complete this course and you can very well appear for this AZ 900, that is Azure fundamental thing, or the AZ 400, that is Azure DevOps certification. So our content is related to both these certifications, so you can very well appear for those certifications also. So now this is how I start. Again, I'm saying it is not only we are driving by considering the students who is already aware of cloud, because we have to consider the student who is not aware of cloud, who is not aware of DevOps. So in the first few days, I will have a discussion about the general or the very basic discussion about what is DevOps, why we need a DevOps. Without DevOps, how we were surviving in the market so far, what is the alternative for DevOps so far. So those informations and all I'll be discussing. Again, I want to give one clause here, like the course content you can see here in the website. I won't be going through the same pattern as section 1, then I will go to section 2, then I will go to section 3. No, I won't be following that pattern, because I try to cover the relevant topics together. If there is a need of a topic needs to be covered before switching on to the next topic, then here and there this alignment will vary. But initial few days would be the understanding about the cloud and the DevOps. So first you should know what you're going to learn, right? So it's, everybody will say in the market, you become a DevOps engineer, then you will get a good package. You become a DevOps engineer, then you will get a lot of interview calls. This is the one we have heard so far. It is true actually. If you go and check it in Naukri or any other job portals, you will find a lot of jobs there, especially for Azure DevOps and all. Nowadays, lot of openings related there in the market.
మెసేజ్ పెట్టా నీకు బిజీ ఉండు కాల్ అవుట్ అవునా
అరే
మెసేజ్
నేను చూసుకోలేదు కాల్ చేయాల్సింది కదా
మళ్ళీ రైస్ మళ్ళీ కర్రీ
Okay,
అన్నం
I
పెట్టు
am putting you on mute, Karthik. Like, if you want to ask some query, you can raise your hand, and we will have a separate Q&A session, and that time you can discuss. Okay, now going back to the topics. So DevOps, lot of openings are there, and but you should know what is DevOps, right? That is a very basic thing. So everybody want to have a good career. That is why we are spending time here. Everybody's time is important, and you spend your valuable time for a training means obviously you need to get something back, that especially for your career growth. So first of all, you should know what is DevOps. So in the initial few days, I'll be going through the it's I would say that icebreak session. That is, you will be knowing what is DevOps and what are the different type of software development model we have, and what are the famous tools you have. Though we are not going to deep dive into all these tools, but it's good to know about these two tools. Like, you should know what are the tools available in the market, because in interview suddenly if they ask some questions related to this, you shouldn't tell that I never heard this name. It shouldn't be the case. You should know at least what it is, what is really meant for. Because many times what will happen is, because I myself interviewed so many person, I myself a interviewer for different organizations, so what we expect is the person at least know something in that particular area. If the person is capable of learning, it's not like everybody will have all the knowledge about the JD. So some people will have one or two topics information only, but really what we see is, if the person is really capable of learning it over a period of time, at least they have some basic information. So what I'll be doing here is, in the ecosystem, this tools ecosystem, I'll be covering the different tools or different terminologies we will be using in the DevOps world, so that you will have some understanding about these tools and these technical words, and it will be helpful for your interview. And next thing would be cloud computing, because DevOps, as I told you, this is not only meant for a cloud. This is can be used for your on premises also. This can be used in your on premises environment, because everybody started their DevOps journey from the on premises. It was initially used in the on premises. Later on, we started using for this cloud, different cloud environments we are using, hybrid cloud, multiple cloud, so many ways we are using. So the main important thing here is, you should know what is DevOps, you should know what is cloud computing. Then we will merge together and say that in cloud, how you can use DevOps. So there are some topics what I'm going to teach in this 40 hours. You can apply this in the non-cloud environment also. Okay, it is not only for the cloud. There are some concepts you can very well use it in the non-cloud environment. That's why I'm saying, when you apply for a job, when you go for any openings in the Naukri and all, so there are some cases they will say DevOps engineer. It may not be the case that you will be a cloud DevOps engineer. Sometimes the expectation might be for the on premises, that is non-cloud DevOps engineer also. So it shouldn't be the case that you know only one side of this DevOps. I will be exposing both the sides, like cloud and non-cloud. So both the areas, because it will improve or it will increase your job opening things, and you can go for a lot of uh, discussions related to that. So cloud computing we will be discussing. So how you can set up your Azure cloud environment freely, how you can do, like there is an option like 30 days of trial time would be there. So how you can register yourself, because this 30 days trial period you can very well use it for your learning purpose. You don't need to pay anything, so it's a trial one. In this 30 days it will be along with my like 40 hours my training time, right? So this 30 days you can very well complete your learning. Even after the 30 days, there are some services you can use without paying. 1 year of time, there are some services you can use it for free. So I'll be discussing that how best you can utilize your account, your Azure account, your Azure DevOps account, for your learning purpose and even for your personal development kind of thing. So I'll be discussing how you can get your Azure account free, a trial registration, and how you can utilize for your learning purpose. Then version control. So this is one of the important topic, like if you are the one who wants to maintain your code, your script, different versions you want to keep. So first of all, I'll be telling what is version control, why you need a version control. In the version control, Git is a famous one. So nowadays, everybody stopped telling it is as version control. They are saying like Git. Okay, so it's a replacement, I would say, for the version control technique. So I'll be explaining you about the Git, and Azure has a repo. So that also I'll be discussing how you can maintain different releases code or script, how you can have merging, how you can avoid conflict, because this is all agile world and multiple teams are working together across the globe. We have team, so how efficiently you can have your code management, your script management. So those and all I'll be explaining in this version control with Azure repos. Then CI/CD. So again, I want to split this into two different aspects, because CI/CD, so without cloud, without this Azure CI/CD or AWS CI/CD, we do have a traditional CI/CD. That is, you can deploy your code automatically. So one famous thing is Jenkins. So that is the one I'll be explaining to you, an introduction about Jenkins. So how Jenkins is used for your on-premises deployments, and also that I'll be discussing in the tools of CI/CD. Then now we are all more interested on the configuration management. So you have your infrastructure, but once your infrastructure is there, say for example, I have my laptop, that is my infrastructure. In my laptop, I want to change a firewall setting, some proxy settings. I can very well log in and I can very well manually change it. But if it is one laptop, I can do. If it is hundreds of machine I want to do, manual is not the correct way of doing. So we go for the automation, right? So configuration management come into picture along with the automation. So I want to configure something and I want to automate it. There are different tools available in the market, a lot of famous tools available in the market. So I mentioned few of them here. So you have Puppet, Chef, Ansibles, and all, and we will be going through that like at a high level. What is this Ansible meant for? When I can go for Ansible, when I go for Puppet, when I go for Chef, because though we are not going to do a deep dive here, we will be understanding the core concept, because it will be your interview question. If you are a DevOps engineer, obviously they will ask you this question. So they will ask you like, what is the difference of these three? When I go for Ansible, when I should go for Puppet, give me the scenario. Or they itself will give a scenario and they will ask you when I can go for Ansible, when I can go for Puppet. So those comparisons and all we'll be discussing, and we will understand what is the need of a configuration management and how I can do automation. So that we will be discussing. And one important and foremost thing here is containerization, Docker, because without this, the DevOps is not fulfilled. Okay, like the CI/CD, this containerization and Docker is also the foremost important thing for your DevOps journey, because everybody is changing from a monolithic to microservice. So when I start the course, like when I cover this topic, first of all, I'll make you understand what is monolithic and what is microservice, because as I told you, some of you may not be from the IT background. So first you should know what is microservices. Then only you can understand what is container. Then only you can understand the Dockers. So first I will explain you what is microservices. Then I will take you to the journey of this containerization, Dockerizations and all. So it will be a gradual understanding. That is, I will start from the scratch. So first you should know, because in the course content I didn't mention microservices, but without microservices I can't explain this containerization. So first I'll be covering the microservices, then containers, then Dockers, about the Docker images, about the Docker files, what are the frequently used syntax and all we will be discussing. And next important, so as I told, it's a evaluation, right? So I had a microservice and I have my containers. I want to manage the containers. I want to manage those images. So I need a orchestration for me. So Kubernetes come into picture. So some people will say K8s, okay, K8s. So I'll be discussing about this. What is Kubernetes? What is pods? What is the architecture of the Kubernetes? And especially related to Azure. So how you can use this Kubernetes in Azure. So we call it as AKS. So that I'll be explaining you. So the orchestration tool. Next thing is, again, if you are the DevOps person, Then they will ask you, are you aware of any one of the infrastructure as a code tool or technique? There are so many things are available, but nowadays the market is moving toward one famous tool which is called Terraform. This Terraform is not only meant for the cloud infra provisioning, even for non-cloud you can use, and even in the cloud you can use for Azure, AWS, and GCP. The Google Cloud also you can use. So I'm going to touch on this, like the infrastructure as a code, because these are the skill set you have to put it in your resume. It's not like just you are saying I'm a DevOps person, I'm comfortable with CI/CD pipeline. No, it's not going to work out. In your resume you should have these key terms. That is, you should have a highlight about the Dockers, you should have something related to Kubernetes, you should have something related to this infrastructure as a code. So infrastructure as a code, again, Terraform is the famous one in the market, widely used. Lot of openings for the Terraform itself is there in the market. It's not like you are a DevOps engineer. If you are the Terraform expert, then there are job opportunities related to this. So that is why I've added this topic. So I'll be sharing about the uh, how you can create your infrastructure using the Terraform scripts. What are the different comments we have? How you can create one infrastructure and how you can destroy it. So those things and all I'll be discussing. So now DevOps is nothing but development plus operations, right? So already operation means it is nothing but support. Once you have everything, let's take in cloud migration as an example. You migrated to cloud, but once all applications are moved to cloud, you come into the maintenance phase, right? So you there are some DevOps person needed even after cloud migration. It's not like only for the cloud migration we need DevOps expert. Even the program is already completed, so you will be needed there for the maintenance phase. So during the maintenance phase, monitoring is an important feature. So you should know what are the different options available for us to follow this monitoring, and what are the best practices and all we will be discussing. And next thing is, this itself a big topic, I would say, like DevSecOps. Okay, so DevOps is one thing. Now we have the subcategory, or I would say a different thing, which is called DevSecOps. So we are not, this itself a big topic, I would say. We are not going to do a deep dive on this, but I'll be covering the thing which is needed for your interview purpose. So this is nothing but your security related aspect, because if you are working as a DevOps person means obviously you should know the security aspect, also the compliance, the governance related things. So I'll be touching upon these topics related to Azure policies and the security policies and all. So this is the one you must know, because when you are going for an interview as a DevOps person, they're not going to ask you to write some scripts or comments. They will be questioning you whether you really have a real time experience. So these are the topics will prove them that you have a real time experience, because security and all in most of the training they won't cover. They will cover the CI/CD pipeline, the boards and all. So this is something important, so I have added here. So it will be a must question in your interview, so that's why I've added here. Next thing is boards. Azure, so I told, right, like I'll be helping you to get access for the free trial Azure portal and all. So similarly, there's one more portal related to Azure itself we'll be using, which is called DevOps portal, Azure DevOps portal. So that portal will have some feature dedicatedly. Like previously, we were using different tools. Okay, we are using Jira for this ticket management and all. Now everything is replaced with a single tool which is called Azure DevOps. Similarly, the other cloud providers also having their own DevOps portal, but here I'm going to do a deep dive on the Azure DevOps portal. So I would say would be a replacement. The board would be the replacement for the Jira. Nowadays, people started using the Azure board itself, and how you can create the project management aspect and all. I'll be explaining you. And CI/CD, again, in the previous topic I explained about Jenkins, right? The traditional CI/CD tool. Now we have the CI/CD for the Azure itself. For in Azure portal itself, we have the CI/CD feature. You don't need to log into Jenkins, or you don't need to have a Jenkins and all for the CI/CD. You can very well use a Azure portal itself for your CI/CD. So that I'll be explaining you how you can create a CI/CD, how you can do something like I have a Git. I committed my code, and once I commit the code, how it is automatically compiled, that is my CI. Once it is automatically compiled, how it can be installed into different environments, my development environment, my testing environment, and my UAT or a pilot environment. So how I can continuously deploy in different environments using the Azure DevOps portal. So that I'll be discussing with you. There are different ways you can create the pipeline, either using the UI, that is either you can go for the classic editor or you can go for the YAML option, that is using the scripts we can do. So both the ways I'm going to teach you. So it is like I'm going to share you the shortcuts also. If you are the person not from the coding background, you don't know anything about script, even without knowing the script, how you can get your own scripts for the deployment. So that I'm going to discuss in this CI pipeline area. And it's not like only you do a compilation, right? Your code compilation in CI, you have to do the unit testing also. You have to check for your code coverage also. So I'll be explaining you what is unit testing, what is code coverage, and how you can add it in your CI. So that also I'll be explaining you as part of this course. And once you have your code compiled, once you have the executable with you, how you can manage the executable, where you can keep, how you can share that executable. So those and all the artifacts I'll be discussing in this particular topic. Then, as I told you, the CD, that is I'll be deploying into different environment. Once I compile my code, I'll be deploying this code into the development environment. So once I deploy the code into the development environment, automatically the corresponding testing needs to be happen. Okay, my system test needs, the functionality test needs to be happen, performance test needs to be happen, security test needs to be happen. Once these are all done, once I confirm that it is good, again I have to move the same code to the next environment, my SIT environment, my UAT environment. So different environments I have to move my code without the manual intervention. That is automatically these switching should do. This switching and all should happen. At the same time, I should get the proper approvals also, because every environment will have different owners, right? So development environment, once I deploy the code, once I tested it, I need some approval. That too automatically it should happen. How I can do? What are the different approval models we have? How automatically I can trigger the approval notification? So those and all I'll be discussing on this CD pipeline. Then my deployment strategies, because this is the famous thing, uh, important question in your DevOps interview for sure. Blue green deployment, that is, you know that we are seeing Google, okay, everybody's search engine. So every day there are a lot of deployments are happening, new codes they are deploying, but none of the time we observe that the site is down. We always see it is responding you, whatever search you are doing, you are getting a response back. None of the time you are seeing that the site is down, it's like unable to reach. No, nothing like that. How it is possible? So that with the help of this blue green deployment, so how efficiently you can manage your deployment when you install something, like obviously, for example, you have MS Office in your machine. So MS Office already one version you have, and that one you have installed already, and you are trying to install a new MS Office. Obviously, what will happen? Until your installation is completed, you cannot proceed with the old one. So when you try to do something, it will say that some installation is happening in the background. So that is a usual process, right? But Google, how they're managing? They are doing a new deployment, but they are not able to see, and you are not able to see any issue, right? So how they are doing it? With the help of this blue green deployment. and every time it is not going to be a straightforward thing. That is, my code is not like always working. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it will fail. If it is a failed one, how quickly I can react to it, how I can react to the situation automatically. It's not like everybody will available 24/7, right, to see it. If something goes wrong, how automatically we can handle the situation. So those things and all we will be discussing on this areas, the deployment strategies. Then the DevOps practices. So the DevOps practice is nothing but, as I told you, always disaster is possible, especially in the current world after this COVID and all. Anything can happen. That is, your environment can crash, or natural commodities can come, flood, earthquake, whatever can happen. So if your infrastructure is not reachable, if you are facing any challenge with your infrastructure, how you can handle? So disaster recovery plan should be there. Your DR plan should be there. So as a DevOps engineer, you should know that strategy also. So it is not like always I have a script and I'll execute the script and I'll get an output. No, it is not going to be like that. You have to plan for the worst scenario also. In your DevOps plan, you should have the space dedicatedly allocated for the DR strategies also. That is disaster recovery. So these are the topics I'll be covering. Maybe if you're not from the cloud background or the DevOps background or the IT background, some of the terminologies or the names I've used in this will be new to you. But don't worry, because whenever I start a new content, like say for example, day one I'm discussing about DevOps means, I won't straight away go and say the definition of DevOps. I'll be telling like a normal layman perspective, because I know very well some of my students may not be from the IT background. In the past batches also I've seen, but once they go out they will know the terms. It's not like they had something, they will understand in such a way I explain. So if you come across any of the terms or the names in today's discussion as new, don't worry, we'll be discussing about this from the scratch. I'll make you understand what is the particular term stands for. Then only we will go into the technical aspect or the hands-on practice and all. First, you should know what is that, right? Then only I can take you towards that. So this is how we do frame our course. So all my last batches and all, I my course content like that, and it's not like I'm sticking to time, with this time I'll finish. No, end of the day I expect my students to understand the topics, so they should know what they are learning. It is not the time sake we do. You can very well check with any of my old students. And this is something for the DevOps journey we have created, especially for the DevOps aspect along with the Azure. So you will be learning about the DevOps tools, best practices. If you are a DevOps engineer, what and all you are supposed to know. If you're planning for a DevOps interview, what are the topics should be there in your resume, that is part of this course content. So that is how we have designed. So with this I'm ending this course content discussion. So now I am open to the questions, so you can start your questions. So if you have any question, you can raise your hand and you can we will go one by one.
Yeah, hello, hi.